Okay, hello everybody again. This is another elder chiming in. And like I said before, everything I say is just my opinion. I can't prove anything. So you have to take it with a grain of salt and do your own research. Now, what I'm talking about this time, I talked about things that's got us in this rabbit hole. Racism, jealousy, envy, entitlement, language. I left out colorism, but that's just part of racism. People of a certain color, they get more chances, they can open more doors, and people who are of a different color, they can't. And when it comes to racism, some people are higher on the totem pole than other people. And that's what's one of the things in a long list of things that's got us into this rabbit hole that we can never, ever, ever hope to get out without some kind of help, or unless things change dramatically. But things aren't going to change. Now, let me talk about this, for example. We black people have a tendency to say that we got to get back to Africa. Excuse me. Africa is our homeland. Africa this, Africa that, Africa this, Africa that. Africa is our homeland. We need to go back to Africa. We need to go back to Africa. And I suppose some Russians will say the same thing about their homeland. We got to get back to Russia. We got to get back to Russia. Or in Asia, we got to get back to China. We got to get back to outbacks of China. Everybody thinks about their homeland, their homeland, their homeland. Now, maybe I'm mistaken, but current evidence, and when I say current evidence, I mean things that have been discovered so far with the archaeology, and they're digging up the sites and checking the DNA and all that kind of stuff to find out, who was where. But according to archaeologists, all life as we know it, all human life started in Africa. Now, if all human life started in Africa, that means that Africa is everybody's home, not just black people. The Chinese, they want to go to the homeland. Well, they got to go back to Africa. The Russians, they go on to the home, want to go back to the homeland. They got to go back to Africa. The Spanish, the French, the Germans, the American Indians. If life as we know it started in Africa, then Africa is everybody's homeland, not just black people. Everybody's homeland is in Africa. Now, that's the current evidence that's mostly accepted, that life as we know it started in Central, Sub-Saharan Africa. I kind of forget where it all started, but it was Nigeria or someplace. It all started in Africa. Now, there's another school of thought that says, no, Africa was not the beginning of the human race. It was in Europe. And they claim that life started in Europe and spread to Africa. Just like those archaeologists who look at the evidence and they say, well, no, it started in Africa and spread to Europe. Now, I can understand where people are saying, let's get back to homeland, etc. My main question is, what the heck difference does it make? What difference does it make where life started? What soul difference could it make to anybody where we all came from? It doesn't make any difference to me. But let me pose another thing for you. Now, somewhere in the post-production, I'm hoping my producer can, who's my grandson, I'm hoping my producer can pull up a photo of Earth. One of the astronauts on the moon, he took a picture of Earth. You can see Earth from the moon. I think they called it Earth rising. Anyway, the picture was Earth here, and here was Earth over here, and they flipped it so it looked like the Earth was coming up from the moon or something like that. But anyway, I think it's called Earth rising. But here's my proposal. When you look at that planet, you have to realize that planet is home to everybody who was born here and who lives here. That planet is our home. So if I'm a Spanish person in Ethiopia, I should be able to move to Russia without any kind of paperwork or anything like that, because the whole earth is my home. I should be able to move from America to Australia, don't need no paperwork. Of course, now we were past that point. We were past that point because of diseases and stuff like that, and animals and stuff like that. But so we're past that point. But since Earth is our home, we should be able to move to any part of this planet that we want to without any kind of fuss, or you don't belong here and that kind of stuff, because we were all born here and here. Let me give you another example. You're out in space. You come up on some aliens, and they got a video of a whole bunch of different planets, maybe 100 or so planets, and they tell you, well, this is our home right here, and they point to a particular planet. So they ask you, where's your home? Well, you don't say Detroit. You say, my home is planet Earth. That's your home. That's where we all came from. And from my understanding, we can't live here. We can't leave here only for a few hours or a couple of days or maybe a year, but we have to come back. This is our home. So when they ask you, where's your home, you will say planet Earth. Another example. Say, for example, an alien civilization came here and there was something on this planet that they wanted, and from where they come from, it was too far away to go to another planet. They found this, and here's where we right here. So they said, listen, we'll transport everybody on Earth to another planet, bigger and better than this one. All we need to do is buy this planet from somebody, from you all, so we can have this planet. We'll transfer you to another planet. Now, here's the question. Who will come forth and sell the planet? Well, nobody can come forth and sell the planet. Why? Because nobody owns the planet. Elon Musk, richest man in the world, but he don't own the planet. The president of the United States, for example, supposedly the most powerful man in the world, can he sell it? Well, no. Why? Because he doesn't own it. All due respects to the Pope, and may he rest in peace. But the Pope is the most powerful Christian man in the world. But even he can't come forward and sell it. Why? Because he doesn't own it. Nobody owns the planet. The planet is here for everybody. Well, what has happened over the years? Well, we partitioned it off. This is French. This is German. This is Spanish. This is Australian. We partitioned it off like that so that, well, you can't come over here because you're not a citizen up here. Well, you can't come over there because you're not a citizen here. When in actuality, everybody is a citizen of every place. Why? Because we are citizens of Earth. We're Earth citizens. Because why? Well, because we were all born here. We can't leave. We're all trapped here, as the song says, regardless of your race, we're just rats in a cage. I mean, we're all born here, and we all live here, and we can't go anywhere. So when you talk about the homeland, either everybody is from Africa, as the archaeologists tell us we are, or Earth is a home to everybody. Everybody's home is this planet. Now, we could end up going somewhere else and living, good, do it, go. But we can't. We're all trapped here. So this is another thing that's got us in this rabbit hole. Everybody's trying to partition off a certain part of Earth as being theirs. They took our land. The Caucasians took African land from Africans. No, the Africans didn't own the land. Nobody owns the land. So here we are again. So I'm going to leave it at that this time. And I'm going to leave you with this saying, question everything and in general, and question everything, and what's the other thing? Question everything and assume nothing. Yeah, that's I'm going to leave you with that. Question everything in general and assume nothing. Okay, until next time. This is another elder signing off.